Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. Again, it is hard to believe that it's July already. So thanks for calling in and being on the line from all around the world this morning. We're excited to go through recognition, of course, as we do, because we love to recognise the efforts of all of you that are doing in the trenches, doing the work, making it happen. You're being a leader for your team, and it's fun to recognise new people coming up through the ranks. We're very excited this morning because we are very blessed to have Terry Latham, Ambassador Double Diamond, joining us from Texas. Many of you would know Terry. He's a phenomenal leader in ASEA. He's well respected and he has a phenomenal track record of success. So we're looking forward to hearing words of wisdom from Terry. We've also got some special Ascent attendees that are going to share with us their experiences in Cancun, and we're excited to hear from them about their journey, why they made it happen, and any advice they have for us when it comes to these incentive trips. We update you as usual with important team information, as well as some promotions and incentives. We've got Kaleen, Kotter and Amilton, her husband, joining us from Florida today, who'll go through some US promotion and incentive. And then we'll cover some upcoming events so you can stay plugged in as well. So we'll start with Director 300, recognising last month's Director 300.
Absolutely. So Director 300, there's lots of great recognition that we've got for you this morning. We really want to express our appreciation and gratitude to all of you, and a huge congratulations. Director 300s is one of the most important ranks in this whole business. You're certainly setting your business up for success. You've activated your business. You've sponsored someone on the left and the right, and you've created at least 300 points on the left and the right, and starting to earn some good money with ASEA. And so these are all the new Director 300s for this last month. So massive congratulations to all of the Director 300s. Here's the Director 300s for week 24. The previous was for week 23.
Be sure to let your team members know that they're being recognised. And also this goes out on social media, as many of you may know as well. So just let them know that they're being recognised. They're valued. We absolutely applaud them in their achievements, and we're excited about their journey with ASEA. Well, that was a bit fast. So we've got a few this month.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is
week 26.
Week 26 as we go through here, the Director 300s. So as you move up the ranks, you need to create Director 300s to rank advance through the bronze, silver, gold, platinum. So that's why it is such an important rank. Now we're going to talk about Director 700s. These are the Director 700s for the last month. Director 700. If you're new and just kind of learning this, it's 700 points, similar to Director 300, except you created 700 points on your left side of your business and 700 points on the right side, all in a calendar business week. And as you build and create a solid Director 700 business so that you're qualifying at that rank every week, the income rewards are substantial. When you look at the income disclosure statement, you're really starting to reap the rewards and the benefits as you're moving up the ranks. So here's for week 24 for Director 700. We should have the whistles and the bells and the kazoos and everything, because this is really important to recognize all you guys as tremendous leaders.
Certainly is. We used to play music, but it ended up just being distorted. So anyway, you have to just listen to us.
Yeah.
But pat yourselves on the back if your name's being listed so far, because of the vision that you have, and obviously the motivation and inspiration to change lives.
So new Director 700s for week 26, and here we are on the bronzes. Bronze is fantastic. This is where you've hit the first executive rank in the business. You've created 2,000 points on the left side, 2,000 points on the right side. And the other thing that bronzes have done is they've helped to create at least 2 Director 300 legs of their business. So you can see that it's really about helping other people to succeed as you're moving up the ranks. You're building a team. It's not just about you. It's not just about moving products, but you're literally helping other people to succeed as you're moving forward. So a huge congratulations to all of our brand new bronze. The other thing that's pretty cool about the bronze executive rank, when you've qualified for a couple weeks in a row, you activate the executive momentum pool, where you're actually participating in the global pool of sales. And that actually increases as you move up to the silver, gold, platinum ranks as well. So into the global pool. So now let's take a look at the silver executive rank advancements. This is where you've done not 2, but 3,000 points on the left side, 3,000 points on the right side of your business. And that's, again, within a business week. And you've also created at least 3 director 300s that have qualified in that week. So again, you're just expanding, building your team, putting in some additional width, and a huge congratulations to our silver executive ranks.
We have a brand new gold executive as well.
Congratulations, Jill. This is fantastic. Gold is 5,000 points on the left, 5,000 points on the right. Again, you're expanding your leadership team, so you've got at least 4 Director 300 legs in your business. And so gold is a pretty significant rank. Platinum, this is doing 10,000 points on the left and the right, on the right side of your business. It's a pretty big jump from gold to platinum. You've doubled that amount, and you've also added an additional Director 300 to your business. So now you've got 5 Director 300 legs, and you're moving very close to the next rank, which we all want to aspire to as you get going, and that's the diamond ranks. Of course, starting.
Well, we have brand new double diamond executives in our team from the last month. A very big congratulations to Karen and Wayne Pickstone from up the road here on the Sunshine Coast in Noosa. So well done. Well done to both of you.
Wayne and Karen are amazing people, tremendous leaders. Wayne is a doctor of Chinese medicine, spent a lot of time researching this technology, and is 100% behind what this does. Seeing incredible things happen with business globally. Just took a big tour through Singapore and Malaysia and all over the place, Philippines, and so really it's exciting to see them rank advance. They're tremendous leaders. And
they are also building a lot of growth with AutoShip. So you'll see their names a lot over the last few years, particularly for the top 10 and usually the top 1 or 2 positions for monthly AutoShip, with people in their team being on that, which is a phenomenal, stable business.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to go through quite quickly top associate enrollers. There's a lot of names here. I just really want you to pay attention to who's in your team, let them know. So that's week 22, 23. There's a lot of consistency in the names that we're seeing in these recognition, specialty award recognition. And these are for the top 10 Australia only, not globally. So Australia only, keep that in mind, which is very, very exciting.
Seeing a lot of names in here, particularly as people are pushing to achieve some of the incentives that are happening right now. We'll go over that. There's incentives happening in the U.S. and Australia, and other countries as well, for the convention and different things. So we'll be talking about those. But this is really a big month. So top associate enrollers, huge congratulations to you guys. Actually making things happen, putting people in. Lots of enrollments are way up this month. And here is for week 26. Again, top associate enrollers. Hey, look at that, Mr. Doyle and Dan and Suzanne are right there at the top.
Thanks to the run for Reach for the Beach.
That's right.
So incentives do create action, which is fabulous.
So lots of leaders on here. Congratulations
to all of you. Now let's run through emerging leaders as well, week 22 to, I think, 22 to 26.
Now, the emerging leaders, this is where it's not really about you, it's about helping your team to rank advance, and that's what's so important with this is as you get recognized for helping them to achieve and grow and to rank advance in their business and their team. So this is exciting stuff.
Very, week 25.
Yep, more emerging leaders.
Beautiful.
So big congratulations to you guys again.
And week 26. So these reports, as you all may know, are in our ASEA virtual office. So you can go under recognition and look in the specialty awards section each week to see your ranking, where you're listed in comparison to everybody else as well. So this is AutoShip All Stars. So we've got for week 22 and week 23.
So this is obviously about making sure that your people, one of the most important things of your business is to set people up for success. For me, part of what that means is to make sure that they're on auto ship so that they don't even have to think about it. Their orders come every month. ASEA does have one of the highest retention rates, or which would include auto ship, of course, in the entire profession that we're in. So it's exciting to see that when people understand what this technology is, they truly want to stay on it. So we want to help them and encourage them, make sure that happens. So again, more auto ship all stars.
Well, of course, because of the fabulous loyalty rewards program that ASEA has as well. It's really important to stay on auto ship for that as well. So that's top EMP earners. So this is what Bart was talking about, that kicks in at the bronze executive rank that he mentioned before. So
yeah, congratulations, Steve. Look at that, number
really
one.
Fun to be able to be in this pool and maximize this pool. It's very rewarding.
Well done. Yeah, and there's Capo again, number one on the top of the list. It's good to see all you guys achieve the EMP bonus. This is really an exciting bonus. It's great when you see the increase in your check, the reward for building your team. The EMP bonus is based on your PGV3. So as you're building your first 3 levels in your business, you really want to go wide and help those people, in their first couple levels, because that's where you really reach deeper into that pool. It's really an important aspect of that. So congratulations to everybody there.
And we're just finishing up here with the Fast Forward Achievers for June. So this is fantastic. A massive increase actually over the last few months in our team with people who are focused on doing fast forwards. It's a fun way to get extra cash and products, particularly with the loyalty rewards points that you can accumulate. And it's a really great way to grow your business. You may as well do fast forwards, focus on them, and grow your business for momentum that way.
So as soon as you enroll someone, you want to click and activate in your back office. You can't actually backdate it for a couple of days if you've enrolled someone and forgot to do this. But when you enrolled 4 people and you've created at least 800 points in 2 weeks, then that activates this. You get extra product. You get some sample twos. The rewards pretty substantial. So you can see here that it's 8 new enrollments. Let's see, yeah, it's 8 new enrollments. I think I said 4. It's 8 new enrollments over 2 weeks.
This is Fast Forward Plus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is.
I've got control of the clickers. So.
That's right. So the fast forward is for 4 new people in 2 weeks, but to double that is the 8 people. Sorry, I'm getting a little confused here. It's 8 people in the same period of time, and you get more rewards for doing more. And the cool thing about this is it's the way that you want to build your business anyway. ASEA just gives us a great incentive to give us a little benchmark, and they give you a great big attaboy with cash and incentives and things on top of that to just say, hey, this is a real good target to shoot for. So it's a perfect way to build your business, and absolutely go for it, particularly with the incentives that are happening in the U.S. and Australia, New Zealand for the convention and so forth.
So same people for the Ambassador Extension trip, which is really exciting. So Dan, Suzanne, Richard and Malcolm for that trip, and then the Diamond Summit. So we're excited to be going to Maui, where we were originally married. So
that's right. So
yeah,
so one of the most exciting things about building a successful business with this is the incredible holidays paid for by ASEA that really want to reward you for the incredible success and that you've achieved and that you've done. And so these diamond trips are really amazing. And the other thing is the other incentive trip that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit too, which is the Ascent and some of the things that are happening.
So Reach for the Beach, this is the, as you know, Australia-specific promotion for Bali at the end of the year. And so far we've got Dan and Suzanne in 3rd place for 3rd prize. And everybody else listed here, you are the people you're on the board. You're on the board to achieve this incentive. And it's just a matter of doing the volume that you need to be, and bringing the enrollments in that you need to be able to achieve the prize positions for this particular trip.
Yeah, we'll be going through exactly what the qualifications are on this, but
yeah, we will.
If you see your name on here, you're in the running. Absolutely go for it. And if you don't see your name on here, get going.
We're 6 weeks into this incentive. We've got 11 weeks to go. So that's 5 back-to-back, fast forward. So you can
absolutely achieve it, even if you're starting right now from today. So
that's right.
We'll get into the details on that. But congratulations for making it on the board for the people who are beginning to make this happen. So that's it's very exciting. So I've got I get the pleasure and honor of introducing our incredible special guest here, Mr. Terry Latham. Terry's an amazing guy. We've known each other for quite a while. We actually go back into a relationship from a previous company that we were involved with. Terry's a tremendous leader. I've always respected how Terry has treated this, like a business right from day one. He doesn't muck around. There's kind of two approaches: a business approach, a product approach. And I know that Terry he gets right down to business, and consequently, he's got one of the fastest growing, perhaps even the fastest growing team in North America. He's an ambassador, double diamond. He's a family man. He absolutely loves his family, loves his kids, and absolutely going places. He's setting Texas on fire. I know you got some great things happening in Texas, Terry. And I noticed on Facebook that you're out having some fun on the 4th of July, celebrating on motorcycles. Terry's a new to the Harley Davidson Club. We've taken, let's say, at the last convention, you took your first Harley ride, I believe it was, and we rode around Dallas, and you've got a new Harley. We're going to be taking a little trip, a convention up through Zion National Park around the Grand Canyon. We're looking forward to that. Terry, we'd like to welcome you onto the call. Thank you for joining us and sharing a little bit. In fact, I'd like to just have you tell us a little bit about your background as well.
Well, first, thanks for having me. I really do appreciate you and Melissa and y'all's leadership, what y'all brought to the company of ASEA. And guys, sorry for my hat and sorry that I didn't shave, but at least, and now that I'm 48, I guess I can finally show that I can grow something. It took me this long to be able to do it. Anyway, so my background, my wife and I were the technology industry. We were part owners of a software company in our 20s. Financially successful, I guess. You could say we were there, but we had no time. And I always like to share with everybody when I tell my story. And I've been approached as network marketing many times before, and I never liked the way people approached me. So when my dad approached me with a company dealing with wellness products, and my dad had never heard of network marketing, that kind of caught my attention. And I remember going to, and they really pushed me. And here's something I think it's important, but they always tell you about the big fluffy stuff and all that kind of stuff. And I never understood that side of network marketing. And I always said if people told me it's hard but worth it, I would have done it. So when I went to a meeting one time, and the guy in front of the stage said, the reason people don't make the 100 name lists is because they're scared. And that was the first honest thing I thought I heard. And here's the crazy thing. That's the reason I signed up in that particular company. I was with that company for 12 years, had success there. It wasn't fast. I always tell people my first $2,000 check came 18 months into that business. I was pretty bad, but I ended up pretty good. And I learned through that consistency is the key to success. And after 12 years there, made my decision to be a part of ASEA. And the reason I decided to be a part of ASEA is because it's redox signaling molecules, salt water from Salt Lake City. I had no idea what it was, but people were getting results and having great success. And we've been a part of ASEA now for 6.5 years, and it's been a fantastic ride.
The one thing that I've always really admired and appreciated about you, and I've known this about you for not just ASEA, but even before, that you just, you treat it like a business. And what I mean by that is sometimes people get in, they expect everything to be done. Sometimes when you get into network marketing, it's not pretty. At least here in Australia, we didn't have tools. We didn't have things that we could really use. We just had to invent it and figure it out. And you've right from the beginning, if a meeting needs to happen, you just create it. you make stuff happen. And maybe you just talk to us about just kind of your mindset and what you did in terms of starting things, because you hit the ground running pretty hard. I think when you decided to run with this, maybe came in and in fact, just tell us about your journey into ASEA and kind of how you started, because I think that you started pretty quickly. Yeah.
So so it's funny. Nobody ever called me about ASEA, by the way. Not nobody. And I actually called my sponsor. And I remember telling my sponsor, Jerry White, said, put me in the system. Now, there's more to this story. I said, put me in the system. And he had to call Denny Robinson that because he didn't know how to put me in. And then they put me in the system. And I remember I ordered 8 cases because we only had the liquid back then. And it was a different colored bottle, and it didn't have all the science. And I didn't know what I didn't know. But what I did know is I was excited to be excited again. And I was lit on fire. I came from a company that had over 150 products to a company that had 1. And this was actually more complicated to share the story. But for my being successful in network marketing, I knew if I was moving, I'd figure it out, if that makes any sense. So I would call people, Bart, like if I called Jim Melissa, I'd call you and say, hey, Bart, this is Terry. Did I catch you at a bad time? He said, no, what's going on? I said, look, I'm about to make a massive business move. Just want to see if you're open to making some money. I never got into their discomforts, never got into pain. It just, that kind of throws me out of my comfort zone. And if they try to hammer with me with questions, I never answer them. I said, look, Bart, you're busy, and I'm busy too. This company's put together a system information to educate people. It takes about 20 minutes. When can you take the time to look at it? And they'd say, pretty much, most would say the same thing. I'd watch it tonight. So I'd follow up them the next day. The more important people I got face-to-face really quick. I can remember one of my first in-home presentations. It came pretty soon. I was doing it in Houston. And guys, in my other network, we had, I would say moderate success. We made a full-time income, but it was a grind. Nothing like this. But so I went to Houston to do, and I'd say my other network, I might have had a couple doctors in, but they never did anything. So I went to go do my first meeting in ASEA. And remember, if y'all look at, a lot of the presentations before they get into a lot of the science, and that's not my skill set. So my first meeting, I went to Houston. These people, for some reason, they had like 6 doctors and 4 nurses in the room. And I don't know why. I know why I find it funny, because that's not. Anyway. So I go in there, and I knew exactly what to do. And this is what it's funny. As people that want to build a business, if we understand where we are and what we have our hands on, the science of redox signaling molecule, you don't have to understand it. You just got to understand it's a big deal. So when I went there, only thing I did, I just said, how many of y'all have ever heard of redox signaling molecules? And they said, none of them. I said, I want to show you a simple way to how to introduce this to the marketplace. What we're about to do is about to bring this hard and fast here to Houston. And I pushed play on the video. Guys, I pulled up a video. And I pulled the video off amazingmolecules.com. I played the redox breakthrough. And that's what I played. And the neat thing is, there's other ways I did on the tail end, but they all signed up, either to be a customer or to be an associate. So what I've always known is, in building my network, or in any of us building a network, if we walk out of a room saying, man, I wish I could, if they say, man, I wish I could do what you do, we've literally failed. But if we walk out there, if I walk out of a home or walk out of a hotel and say, man, and they say, man, I could do this, then we've knocked it out of the park. So that was really one of my first in-home presentations. It was pretty intimidating, Bart, to say the least, to have all the medical people. But the neat thing is, if they're going to hammer me with questions, guys, I'd never found myself trying to go find another doctor to answer questions. It is what it is. You have 100% empty bottle, empty tube, money back guarantee. There's 100% non-toxic. So they got all the information for the presentation, but sometimes we cause our own issues and we don't know we're doing it.
You mentioned a couple of things that I think were really profound. I just want to kind of highlight it and capture that. I hope people are taking notes, because, you kind come right through the door with a business approach. And in fact, I like the fact that you just said, hey, I'm looking to make a massive move. You're presenting a big vision. I mean, you're parting the Red Sea. You're, you're painting, that's so important when we talk to people to have a big vision, to let people know that you're going, people want to be on a train that's going somewhere. And that's obviously the picture that you were presenting. And also, I really like the fact that you're using, tools. You're letting the tools do the talking. You're not trying to be an expert. Sometimes we get so caught up in the paralysis of analysis. And I think the simpler that we keep it, the better. Even I remember watching Dr. Gary Samuelson go on and on about the science. And I thought, well, this is really cool. I don't really get it, but I know that there's some really smart people that know what they're doing, and that's good for me. So, that's all I really need to know. I think keeping it simple is really important for people to understand, and always leverage, on somebody else. If someone has a question, we can leverage either a tool or sometimes an upline or something that can answer those questions to do that too.
What really on that one note, there's a certain amount of respect that comes from a professional across the table, or if you respect their space. For example, if those doctors try to hammer me about redox biochemistry and I try to go in and answer this and I don't have the background, we tend to, like I said, we cause our own problems. We don't know we're doing it. But like I said, if we just kind of back off a little bit, we tend to get in the way of the message. I hope that makes, truly especially the bottle today, the presentation's on the back of the bottle. And when I think a lot of time, most cases, I'm willing to bet, Bart and Melissa, that in most cases, people are causing their own problems and they don't realize that they're doing it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, our bottles are a little bit different here in Australia.
Oh yeah, I know. I realized that when I said it.
we don't
but there is the internet, so
that's right. Yeah, with the restrictions we have, the global internet, everything is right there, so you can just go to ASEAscience.com. You can see everything that's there. But you're right, in the States especially, you've got the biogenetics, you've got the summary of the gene study, you've got cell signaling supplement right there, so there's a lot right there that you can use. So that's a pretty cool thing.
But for us, we're simply grateful that we've got ASEA out here.
Yeah.
It's just, we're very blessed, because as you know, the first couple of years we only had Renew 28.
That's
and
right.
as that was a phenomenal foundation in which to launch a country from, in terms of the before and after photos for the evidence. But just the fact that we have ASEA out here, sure, we can't say a few things, but that's totally okay. We've got people on the product.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I know that your wife Erin, she's gorgeous inside and out, and you're obviously a big family man with both very big-hearted people, and you're wearing the Advancing Life Foundation hat. So, cap, or visor. So, in terms of, how did you find, what do you think of the Advancing Life Foundation with ASEA, specific to ASEA? Did that?
Well, I think it's actually it's really cool, and to put our focus on other areas. I think a lot of times we feel like the product's what's in the bottle or in the tube. The product's truly the person in the mirror. This company tends to make us better in so many different ways than one. And Advancing Life is one of those ways. This will be my first trip to Advancing Life, and I'm taking my oldest son. And it's a good thing. And all my children will do this. And I'll wait another 2 years, because I got a 13-year-old daughter. She'll go with me in a couple of years. And then I got an 11-year-old son to do the same thing.
And you're talking about in Ecuador.
Yeah, the one in Ecuador. Yeah, so we'll be heading out actually not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So it's going to be pretty cool to see your kid go through this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I know on the I Am ASEA video, you've mentioned that your children don't know outside of their parents working from home in this industry. So that you've been able to be there with your kids, both of you, the entire time.
Yeah.
They're pretty special.
Yeah. So it's funny. I do a PowerPoint presentation around this, and because I believe people learn in pictures, and I want to encourage everybody watching this, always take pictures. Because where you are today won't be where you're going to be tomorrow. And you want to be able to reflect back on your past. It's easier to teach from pictures, because people say, you did start off in the beginning, right? And you can show your first in-homes and stuff like that. Always take pictures. I can remember my son I think he's 16 now, so about 5 years ago. So he's about 11. And he came out one morning, it was like Sunday or Monday. He said, Dad, does ASEA assign you people, give you people? And I said, no, son. Because I don't know how many of y'all listening to this meeting or the recording that you could actually talk about what your dad or mother did. I mean, we always said, I don't know, they did this. Well, I found that pretty interesting. So I call this Wild Hair Wednesday. So I asked my son, I said, you want to go on a road trip? And he said, yeah, Dad. And this is during the summer. So I told him we're going to go out of state. And so we actually, just to keep a long story short, we went on a 7-state tour on people to see people that I've been working with. So we started to understand the grassroots of what it is to build a network, that things are not given to us, right? You have to work. And that's the best thing about network marketing. We all can be free if we're willing to fight for it. So the first place I went to is in Louisiana, and we went to a friend of ours' house. At the time he was 34, his wife is 29. They have 4 kids. They live off the land. They raise chickens for food. They have 2 geese, and I don't know if you know this. The 2 geese, they keep away aerial predators. I didn't know this stuff. When we stayed in their house, they don't have carpet in their house. They were poor by way of monetary means, but wealthy by way of family. So we stayed in their house, my son. So the reason I go through all these different things that happened, but we stayed in from the wealthy to the poor and all in between. And everybody took my son in and made him like his own. But he saw what we were starting to do, because before he'd only seen us on stage in front of 500 or 5,000 people, but he saw how this stuff started. So when we got home, it's pretty amazing. We had a meeting in my house, and we had about 60 people there. And it was cool to hear him stand up and share his experience, what he was able to learn over that 6-day, 7-day trip. But it's pretty neat. So long story behind this. As you said, I do everything. I do as much as I can with our family. And it's pretty amazing as you raise your family in an industry, especially like network marketing, but especially with ASEA, what this can do for your kids, especially when they're around us. And that's why I'm excited about Advanced Life too.
What a cool experience. And I tell you, when people really understand the power of visual income that's created, the freedom that can create for a family, there's nothing like it. I mean, we just count our blessings every single day. It is so amazing to see the checks roll in, even when we're on holidays or at a Diamond Summit or whatever. It's pretty interesting. Hey, I'd like to I'd like you to just talk about the numbers a little bit too. I know, as you look statistically at the leaders or anybody that's really built a successful network marketing business, they've launched their business in kind of 90-day bursts and blasts. I don't know if you know the statistics of how many people you put in your first 90 days or what kind of effort and push, but I know working a big burst and then maybe taking a little bit of time or working in depth, but and just talk about working the numbers a little bit. I know we were chatting the other day about that, and also I know that you've promoted events are really important to you. How maybe you work in creative events, you promote events and crank the numbers. How do you do that in terms of promoting that with your team and what you've done?
Yeah, events are everything, guys. Events are everything. You will live and die by events because they give you a bigger vision. And it also, perception becomes reality. So I'm sorry, Bob, our head's going so many different directions. So I've always, when I started and when I got into the business, I like one things I found out that the people that were making at least $1 million a year had sponsored at least 100 frontline. I like tangible things. So guys, I didn't, so when I got in, that was my first marker. I was going to run and go as fast as I can to get to 100 people frontline. I didn't do that in 90 days. I still actually haven't hit it yet. I'm going to come a few people, about a couple behind. But I like the tangent. So when I started building, it's kind of funny. And maybe y'all can relate to this, but it looked like I had 2 men, just like a guy on stilts. I mean, I was doing stuff and I was driving legs down depth on the binary portion. And I was excited because I could sit down with somebody and I'd say, Bart, and I'd go through my deal and you say, man, I need to think about it. I say, hey, Bart, I appreciate it, brother. But while you think about this, I'm going to sit down with a few more people and they're going to get in. And either they can be in your team or you can be in their team. It's up to you. So they'd make a choice to move pretty quick. Because guys, let me tell you this wasn't a closing. It was a closing tactic, but yet what Bart said, we were 100,000% focused on getting this done and done now. We weren't going small. We were going big. I had a large nut to crack at my house. So when we started building this business, I was very focused on the business push. If people wanted to go see how the products worked and break that stuff down, I put them over here. I always honored their space. I didn't force people to do what they didn't want to do. You'll always see me when people do something good, I say, wait to lead from the front. If you're not leading from the front and doing what you want your people to do, they're not going to do this. People listen with their eyes. Guys, they listen with their eyes. I mean, but the question comes down to any one of us, would we want to sponsor ourselves? I mean, and a lot of times some people say yes, but sometimes the answer is not always the answer what we want to hear. So and we talked about this before, and I've talked about a lot, the rhythm of the business, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing on this, but when you look at to make a six-figure passive income, and I know people in here will make a lot more than that. It's easy enough to duplicate. You get 100 people to a destination event, you'll make a six-figure passive income. Okay, and there's three different types of income real quick. There's active income, which you actively have to do. There's residual income, which people duplicate, and there's passive income, which is auto ship. Okay, actively you can make $500 right now, but you want to build towards passive. So when you get 100 people to a destination convention, so how do you do this? Well, you break things up, and this is what Bart and Melissa, they do so well. And so we leverage, of course, the international conference, the convention. That's our first business play. Then we break things up in quarterlies, monthlies, weekly, into our daily mode of operation. Now, for the people listening in, it's a simple things to do and simple things not to do. For example, one, auto ship. Auto ship is the key to your success. It's the key that starts the engine to your car. If you don't do the simple basic things, nobody's going to follow you. If you make a decision whether or not you're going to go to an event or not, whether or not you have somebody with you, you're starting with a loser's mentality. And I'm not trying to be, I don't want to be so abrupt, but it is true, guys. We go regardless. My success today, guys, I told you in the beginning of this, my first $2,000 check in this industry came after 18 months of being in this industry. And guys, I never slacked off. I worked my tail off. I did everything right. I went to all of the events. If there was a leader close to me, I got around them, because if I breathed the same air, something had to fall off on me. So what I found, and what people always want to ask, certain things, and I'll tell you guys, my success today came from my first 18 months in this industry, where nobody knew who we were. When I got on a plane by myself to go to these events, when I got into a car to drive 6 hours to go here, somebody borrowed a Melissa car to do the teachings. When he did the things that people aren't willing to do, people are willing to follow. Because like I said, guys, they listen with their eyes. But auto ship, also reaching out to at least 2 new people a day, that was one key thing that I heard Trish Winkler said in the beginning. And people, they'll ask, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do different? And that's kind of a hard question to answer, but I do have an answer. And it goes back to this. Trish said, 2 a day brings freedom my way. And I thought that was kind of corny. And I can say that because, I think the world of Trish Winkler, she's the number one incomer, and I've never seen anybody like her. She is a machine. But when she said that, in my mind, I got to go faster. So I got in front of, I was talking 20, 30. But here's the concept. The idea is if you hit 20 today, that isn't, you got to hit, still you're committed to 2 tomorrow. So my thing was, if I look at my past, I would be a lot further today had I just committed to that one simple thing. Hit 2 brand new people every single day. We'd have been a lot further ahead as we are today. And so that's what's one simple thing I would definitely throw out to you. Sorry for getting on a tangent there, Bart. I do it sometimes.
No, it's great.
We're having, sorry, Cristina, just quickly, we're having internet issues, so we'll just turn our video off here just quickly. And Cristina Williams, I'm not sure if you've met Terry. If you've met Terry, you've met Cristina. Cristina has a really great question she'd like to ask you, Terry.
Yeah.
You
Hey, Cristina.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
We bump into each other at
Yes.
beachside cabanas and cocktail places in Cancun. So that was fun. Thank you for everything you've shared so far. It's gold, gold, gold. I just had a question. If you were getting somebody, you kind of just answered it actually, but if you're getting someone started today, I know there's some people on the call that literally have come into ASEA this week. And, you know, for them, if they're, you know, some of them are being propelled by a dream, some of them are trying to run away from a nightmare, and, you know, economically they can feel the flames licking behind them, and they need to get to six figures inside of a year. And that was the goal I had, you know, like I was looking at, I need to be full-time inside of 1 year. So for somebody that really wants to set pace, what would be some markers, even down to like, you know, what would you say would be some guidelines of what they need to be doing every single week if they want to build a big business fast, for people getting started?
So one, I would not quibble with the price. I understand with what was just said by Cristina. If you're looking to make a six-figure income, now I'll say it again, there's active income, residual income, there's passive income. And so a lot of times we intermingle those, and that we don't always understand how all that stuff comes into play. If we want to make immediate income and to get it up quick, we have to be doing what people are doing. Guys, when Bart and us are going through the recognition, it's kind of cool. I mean, y'all see Danny Doyle's name on a lot of the recognition slides. So he's leading from the front and doing the things that we need to do. Yeah, so I mean, I'd just be focused on the numbers, know your numbers. It never fails when I sit down with somebody and I'll talk to them, and they'll say they're director 700 bronze and they want to go diamond. And they'll ask me, I said, for me to give them advice how to go diamond. And I always ask them a question back. I say, well, what is diamond? And I said, what do you mean? I said, well, what is diamond? I mean, what does it take to go diamond? I'm not talking the details of what is diamond. 6 director 300s, 15,000 a week, right? Two weeks in a row. Do you know that about 98% of the people can't tell me that one simple thing? They can't tell me, and if we don't know where we're going, who's going to follow? So if you're going to break down just on a 6-figure income, we need to first understand what is it. That's platinum, right? So they just need to look at on the schedule of the platinum. Now, another thing is, because of the EMP, when we first started, we didn't have all this cool stuff y'all have. We didn't have the EMP. I actually didn't hit a 6-figure income my first year, and I would have had the EMP. It'd have been nice and fat, but we didn't have the EMP. You lucky dogs. Y'all don't have the label, but y'all have the EMP when it. So anyway, you know, Cristina, I mean, like I said, I would just make sure that they focus on the platinum, and I'd break it backwards, go backwards from platinum.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, I like your attitude of the fear of loss, and what I mean by that is when you were saying, hey, you can get in above these people or below these people. Would you prefer to have them in your downline or whatever? You created some fun, a sense of urgency when you bring people in. I think that's really an important element when you're on a push, when you're on a run in your business. And for all of you that might be pushing for, whether it's a convention for the incentive for the convention or a incentive for the reach for the beach, you know, you can use that when you're talking to people too. I'm going to be talking with a lot of people, so you know, get in now. Fear of loss is a pretty major motivator, and I think it's just taking the action, and knowing the numbers is a pretty cool thing as well.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Terry. You're probably still in 4th of July holiday mode, are you?
Well, yeah. You can see I got my hat. I like to wear the visor now because I'm starting to get a little gray on the side, but now at least you know I'm not gray all over yet. I mean, that's why I got to show the top part.
We've got something for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounded like you had a lot of fun with your family. Have an amazing time in Ecuador. I think you're possibly building the dormitory. Is that what you're doing? You're building a dormitory down there?
Yeah, I know we're building the school. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a dormitory section now, but anyway, can't wait to see your videos. You are an absolutely inspirational leader for all of us. Your generosity for joining our team today, being obviously a Crossline member, speaks volumes of giving your time for all of us. We unfortunately didn't have Dan on today. I know you're close with Dan. He's up with another commitment, but we're just so grateful to join us. Please give our best to Erin and your beautiful family, and I guess we look forward to seeing you now at convention.
Yeah, on the ride.
On the ride.
I'm looking forward. Hey, real quick, and let me say this because I'll go back to Cristina. Just thinking, and I'm sorry, my mind starts bouncing back and forth when I was talking about the two, the stilts, in the binary.
Yeah.
I was talking about that before. And here's one big also thing, Cristina. Make sure they don't focus too heavily on what people are doing or not doing. Just focus on what we can do and drive, because people can see that. Because for my success, when I was driving depth, and then people would look down and say, nobody's doing anything. I said, just chill, it's coming. Depth, and then one would go boop, 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 and then they started popping. But if you lead from the front, everything's really good. And Bart and Melissa, thank you guys for who y'all are and what y'all represent. Y'all are great leaders. I love what y'all did in the beginning of this. I hope you guys, as y'all watch this, y'all don't take that for granted. That's true leadership, but doing all that recognition in the beginning. So thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you, Terry. And just from just kind of wrap up a final thought. When we talked before, I remember you said, the most important thing that people need to realize is to be the leader that they want to attract. You're not be the leader. Don't look for the leader, because when you're being who you need to be, when you're being the leader, you're going to find that. And just consistently, one thing about network marketing, we've seen it with a lot of people. They get started, and sometimes the rewards come a little later. You just need to have consistent, steady effort. Once you move forward, if you fall, take a bunch of time off, your organization's going to do the same thing.
That's right.
People tend to duplicate what you do. So you've been a tremendous leader. You're doing great things, and we really appreciate you coming on the call.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Terry. Great to see you. I'm just...
Oh, it's like, yeah.
Just see you. Thanks, Terry. Sorry, but seeing things.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back into the PowerPoint presentation, because what we're actually going to do now is we're going to speak to some of the Ascent attendees. So we're going to have a chat with Cristina, Stevie and Sarah, and Wendy Murphy. And I think Kaleen is going to talk to us, and Amilton as well. So they're all on as panelists now, I believe. I'll just double check Wendy. But what we might do is kick off with the amazing Stevie and Sarah Aquilina. So I just wanted to let them come on and share their story about their trips overseas, because they've become international global travelers now. So hand the time over to you, Stevie and Sarah, to talk a little bit about Ascent.
Hey, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Bart and Melissa.
Good morning.
Hey.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks for joining us. So, yes, go for it. You're world travelers now. I
know, right? Yeah, we're so lucky. This is our second time at Ascent. It could have been 3. We missed out on our first time because of a family illness. So we were there last year, and then obviously this year, and we're so very grateful to all of our team that help us to work really hard to achieve a trip like this. It is an absolute dream to go on a trip like this, especially for me, because before ASEA, this just wasn't my world. I couldn't even afford to travel outside of Sydney or even outside of the town that I lived in. So to be able to go on trips like this is like something that falls out of a dream. And they really know how to treat you. Oh my goodness, they know how to treat you. It's if you get the right prize level, it's all expenses paid, including your travel. And you don't put your hand in your pocket for anything on this trip. And it's 5-star and it's luxury, and the service is awesome. And you wake up every day not believing that you're there. And to the staff too. I mean, they work so hard for us there on these trips. And every time I see them, I'm sure to give them, like, to spill lots of gratitude all over them, because they work so well that it's easy to miss their work. Just like they put these events together so seamlessly. But do you want to say something first? But I think my favorite part of the trip, you know, because I don't know if Terry's still on the call, but I want to thank him for everything that he said. It was my first convention I saw, Terry, and that's thanks to you, Bart and Melissa, and Dan as well. My mate Dan's jumped on the call. Hey, buddy. It was really you guys that sort of came together to help me to get to my first convention. So I'm forever grateful to you guys for that. And that's the first time I saw Terry. It was at a breakout session, and he turned that room upside down. He was awesome. And I fell in love with that guy. But it was at this Ascent. We were at the day spa in the hydrotherapy, and Terry was there. And we were in the steam room together, and I got to have one-on-one chat with him, which I thought was really cool. And I was really stage struck. And he asked me, he said, you know, why did you choose this industry? And I was, you know, I was starstruck and a little bit duh. So I said, it allows a little guy like me to become a big guy like you. But what I think I really meant was that, you know, this gives a guy like me who, you know, ran away from home, dropped out of school, didn't go to uni, didn't get a degree, was on the wrong side of society, who ended up, long story short, being a very dumb but very handsome bouncer on the doors of King's Cross. It allowed me the opportunity to be better. It allowed me the opportunity to become better. Allowed me the opportunity to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world as per our mission. So I think what I really meant to say, Terry, was, you know, it allowed a little guy like me the opportunity to be great, to become great, to be a part of something great, and in the future to do great things. And I think the biggest thing I get from Ascent is the people, like Terry, like the other leaders that are there, and like of course, you know, getting direct training from Tyler, and the friendships you make over there. That's the biggest thing that I love about Ascent. The opportunity to become more, and the big connections and big friendships you make.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and there's nothing little about you, Stevie and Sarah. You guys are giant. You're tremendous leaders, and that's fantastic. And you know, the trips are pretty cool. There's a couple of places we could take this. Like, I love what you said, Stevie, about the vision that you had at going to the first convention. We got a big convention coming up. Guys, get there. It's a place where your business will absolutely grow and excel. And I can see that you guys had a great time. In fact, I was jealous that we weren't there, looking at Facebook and all the fun you guys were having, the Facebook Lives you did, and different things. But also, Sarah, maybe you might want to talk about New York. You were able to live another dream because of the adventure as well.
Yes, so on the way back, we went to New York, and actually it was through our friend Marco, who we met at last year's Ascent and became good friends with.
He's right there.
He's right there in that picture in Times Square. That he showed us all of New York. So we flew to New York after Ascent, so we had another mini holiday, and this was one of our childhood dreams, to go to New York. Again, like Stevie said, something we didn't think we would be able to do for another few years yet. So that was amazing to be there. And
a dream of mine since childhood. I've always wanted to go to America, but especially New York. And just could never do it because I was just broke and being a loser.
Well, you met Sarah.
Yeah, well, she was my first step to figure it out that I wanted to be a better man. That's for sure.
Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing a little bit.
You're both amazing leaders in Australia. We're truly grateful for the support and the leadership that you provide through the whole country. Phenomenal team players. You do whatever it takes for anyone at any time to help out. So we're excited, and what makes us enjoy this business so much is that you're able to go and fulfill childhood dreams and go to Cancun and live the life that you're both very deserving of. So that brings us completion.
Yeah, and thank you. And we mean that. We mean thank you to you, and thank you to Dan. Thank you to our team, and thank you to ASEA, because this doesn't happen without all of you guys. And yeah, we mean that from our heart. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you,
thank you.
Sarah. Who do you want to?
Oh, let's see. How about Amilton and Kaleen? You guys want to just tell us about your experience at Ascent?
Sure. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
As an Accent for me personally, I think is the connection we can make with the company there. It's amazing, the training. And the first step to me is start for Kaleen and I. It start because we start focusing on our business and really doing the things to go there. But when we do the things to go to Ascent, we start building our business more and more and more. I think that is the most important thing. And then you connect with all the people and have all the moments there. It's good. But it started when here, building our business. But if we connect like with a lot of people there, the training was amazing. And listening to the training from Tyler Norton is like open your mind to many different things. Definitely.
You're absolutely right, Amilton, because these trips don't just happen. You don't just go on them for not doing anything. So the fact that you made a really good point in terms of the momentum that was created in your business by taking the action because you were really looking forward to going on the trip. That's part of the purpose of the trip. But who wouldn't travel across the other side of the world, or for you guys, down the coastline a little bit to hear Tyler speak and to meet the other corporate team and just hang out. So very well deserving. And Kaleen, I think you were going to say something.
Well, I just want to say, again, to acknowledge you all and to acknowledge Dan Doyle, and Mauricio Munoz is another leader we work with a lot, because it takes the team collaborating. And if Dan and you all didn't provide the leadership and help us understand, here are the incentives, here are the rewards in the games. I mean, sure, we get emails from corporate, but the extra finesse that you guys bring in and the understanding by helping us pay attention to the important things makes a big deal. And one of the things I love that really shows the culture of our company is that when you go to Ascent, not only do you get to really an intimate snapshot and exchange with our corporate business partners, the founders, all of our global regional vice presidents of sales and all these things, and the event team. But we also, I think it's amazing that the Diamonds actually voluntarily, pay their own way and fly in to be with us, to connect, to be part of the training, to mentor us, to play with us. And that says a lot to me. And one of the things that I really walked away with, this was our second Ascent this year. The first time we didn't know anybody, literally at all. We had been to a convention, but that was it. But is that Tyler and Chuck, our CEO, and Jerem, they all from the stage really challenged us to be ambassadors of the ASEA culture. And they said part of what makes Ascent so important and convention so important and all of these, events happening from the corporate level is they're investing in us so that we go out and invest in people. And we bring what is so beautiful about our culture and our ethos out into the world, out into our business partners, out into our consumers and people that we don't even know yet that we're going to share the ASEA story. So for 4 days, we just get to live and breathe the culture as a community with the Diamonds, like you guys, and with the corporate team and with the other associates that are, that we all play the game together to come and relax and learn a little bit. So that's priceless to me as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for jumping on and sharing your experience. Just want to hear from, let's see, want to just shift over to Wendy. Are you with us, Wendy?
Oh, I might need to. There she is.
There you are.
Hello. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know if your camera's not on. There you are.
She's out and
there you
about.
are. I don't know if you want to advance the slide as well.
How you going?
Great. Yeah, really good.
There she is.
We can hear you sort of just a bit faint. Are you able to talk a little more into the...
Is that better?
It's still a little bit faint, but maybe just briefly, just share with us what your experience was.
Just pull the headphones out. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wendy.
So let's see, you can see up here in the left-hand corner.
So yeah, my first Ascent, and I went with it, so it was great to experience it with her. So Janelle actually went with me, so she qualified as well. So that was amazing. I guess it was just having access to the leaders in an informal environment was the biggest thing for me. You just get to see them in a different light. You get to realise that they are just real people like us. And it makes you realise that if they can do it, we can do it too. So yeah, it just sort of made everything real. And as Stevie and the other guys have said, it's just that training from Tyler. You get one-on-one time with him. Just yeah, amazing. The whole thing was amazing. I definitely recommend everyone putting it on the bucket list, and it's very achievable. So yeah, our next big thing, I guess, is reach for the beach. So we want to take all of our team there. So and just so that we can share the experience and the connections and the memories. So yeah.
That's fantastic. So we'll be going through that in St. Pierre in a minute. Reach for the Beach is a trip to Bali, and these look, so Ascent, all these cool holidays paid for by the company, you can earn them, and it's just what you wanted. A great way to build your business, to create the income you want anyway. But this is a chance to really network with people and experience the culture. So thank you so much for jumping on the call, Wendy, and
my pleasure.
Can't wait
Thanks for having me.
to see.
Thanks, Wendy, and also a shout out to your husband Tim too, because you guys work obviously business together, and you both earned your way there, and it's phenomenal. I was so excited that you both were that you were able to make it along with Janelle and have such a great time. So,
and he got to stay home with the kids.
That's right. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wendy.
Cristina, do you want to say a quick word about the Ascent, and particularly how these incentive trips can really help you to move your business and reach for the beach that's coming up? Just would be the next one that people can strive for, where they can network and so forth.
Yes, absolutely. I just echo everything that everybody said already. I think that the biggest shift as you move forward in ASEA through to the higher ranks, by the time that you sort of hit bronze, you know how to ride the bike, you know the basics, and it really is just an ongoing repetition of those basics. There's not a big secret that gets unlocked later on. It's just the same stuff. But what's going to take you forward, therefore, is the level of inspiration, the level of vision, and particularly, I think for me, getting around people that are further along the road is the reason why these trips are amazing, because it lifts my level of self-worth. It's lifted my level of belief. When you're here and you're stuck in life and you're dealing with kids and you're dealing with the grind, you forget just how much bigger this whole thing is and how much bigger life is. And I wanted to just quickly share a couple of pictures, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Stop sharing.
We thought we had the ultimate photo of Matt.
Yeah, I know. But I just put a couple of pictures together because this is where this was our room. You show up and you're at a penthouse with your own plunge pool, and that's different to me driving the kids to school, screaming and carrying on every day. So it's to extract myself from the vision, from the moment of the daily grind, from maybe the challenges I'm facing, for the doubts, and to be able to spend some time in locations like this. Like for Matt and I, it was a time to really regroup, to get around people and go, oh my gosh, like there's so much more that we want to do, to reset our goals, to expand the vision, to connect with our team from around the world. Obviously, we don't get to spend time with these guys, to get around people like Tyler. And for me, there were about 4 key conversations that were had during that whole trip that actually I believe will move us on to the next rank. There were things that just dropped into place that were part of the association that will lift the belief level. I mean, sure, the fun is amazing, and you get to hang out with people and you get to party and all the rest of it. But I think personally for me, it's kind of remembering just how much more is out there, how big the world is, how success is so achievable. You see mountains of people there earning great money, successful, living life, completely living the next vision of what we want to be. And it lifted my self-worth. I walked away thinking, this trip has been great, but I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get into it again. I can't wait to move to get back on the horse. It was exciting.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for jumping on. There's some great photos too.
And your mum and dad were there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I heard Tyler fortunately did a Facebook Live, and I was so inspired by what you said with your folks there.
It was incredible. So mum and dad have been just kind of around the business, not really engaged, just getting a little bit of a recommending people and so forth. And they qualified at the bronze level. And within about a day of being there, they had a room where they stepped into the water. And within about a day of meeting people and associating, dad and mum were like, what is this crazy, amazing company? Like, these people are awesome. This, what they've laid out here is outrageous. Like, who comes to these kind of places? I thought this was for superstars and rock stars. And they've come back completely different. I mean, my dad's got me running around Brisbane because he can't stop talking to people. So you really get to connect with the big vision of what's available. It's not just about the cocktails on the beach, although that's good, but it's coming back feeling like you're worth so much more. And what you can do with that level of empowerment is move forward.
Well, we're ASEA, and all of us are particularly fortunate to have your parents in this business, because they both are truly amazing people. You're obviously the best of both of them. They're such phenomenally great. I had an opportunity, as you know, to spend a little bit of time with them, and I'm just so excited that they were able to see more and embrace it and really become it whilst they were away, to be able to join their daughter in business, and their son-in-law. So very excited.
Yeah, I love them.
Good people. Thank you so much, Cristina. We're really grateful that you have joined us. I'm not sure if you wanted to. No,
that's great.
Congratulations to all of the Ascent earners.
Oh, is there a slide that just shows all the winners?
The winners, no, just we were featuring the attendees.
Yeah.
So
we've got Julia Wesley there that also attended.
We do. Yep.
And I think there were some other people on our team. We couldn't feature all of you in terms of the time, but we want to thank those of you that came on and shared your experience. And really to extrapolate that, look, there's going to be another Ascent that's going to be announced at convention. And so you'll have an opportunity to strive for the next one, a great event. Also the other incentives that are happening. So that really the idea with this is to realize what a great opportunity that this is to connect with everybody.
And Dan, I know that you're in the middle of something, but feel free to unmute and chime in whenever you'd like to. So.
And our screen is being shared.
Yeah, I shared it again.
Okay, great. Beauty.
Cristina, could you let me know if you can't see the slide?
Yeah, no, all good. Pretty slide.
Okay, so we're going to just whiz through, because it's important for you to realise where we're at in terms of Reach for the Beach. There's still 11 weeks to go. The trip's in December. It's very, very doable. As we know, Dan's in third place, but there's so many of you that are on the board now to be able to achieve this trip. Bali is just a 6-hour flight from Brisbane, so it's nice and close, and obviously a spectacular location that we're able to go to. So
Bali was always one of my dreams, fantasies to go. We just went at Christmas, and it was just amazing. Yeah. I mean, they're just the most gracious people, and if you like really great massages and just being pampered, it's the island of the gods is what they literally call it, and it's just an amazing place, so you definitely want to go for it. So obviously this trip is for Australia and New Zealand, but again, there's incentives. Kaleen's going to talk about that a little bit for the US. So this incentive, we just want to roll through it real quickly. Melissa mentioned that we're 5 or 6 weeks in.
Yeah, 6 weeks in.
6 weeks
and
in.
Dan, of course, no surprises, is leading the leaderboard right now. So he's blazing the trail, as Terry said.
Absolutely. So the contest, I'm just going to run through the qualifications, and I'll tell you a little bit about this real quick. So if you're new to it, or you say, hey, have I been left behind? Can I still do this? You absolutely still can jump in and make this happen. It's not too late by any stretch of the imagination. So the contest is to enroll somewhere between 15 and 28 people. There's 4 different levels of the contest that you can achieve. It's based on not only the number of enrollments, but also it's based on the volume that you put in. And also the cool thing about this is we get rewarded for the auto ship volume. So when you enroll someone and they place an order automatically the next month, that volume also counts too. So little tip, if someone wants to order some extra product, create it as an auto ship order, because you'll get the credit for those points as well. So it started May 25th, and it's going to go till Saturday, the 25th of, 27th of September.
And it's available to Australia and New Zealand.
So this resort is in a really cool area of Bali, Nusa Dua, where one of the areas we stayed. It's a 5-star resort, and the video of the resort, where if you go on, it is spectacular. I mean, the rooms are absolutely first class.
We're disappointed because we booked an overseas trip at the beginning for a month in December, so we won't be able to make this trip.
I'm so bummed.
Yeah,
I am so jealous of everybody.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would be there with you 100%.
Definitely. But there's the grand prize.
Hey, you guys may not be able to make it, as I may not be able to make it, but we're going to win it, aren't we?
Hey, Dan, where you at?
Hey, how you doing?
Look like you're in an airport or something.
Yeah. I can't put you blocked me, which was a good thing as far as my video is concerned.
Oh, we can unblock.
We're in the corner first. Yeah, why not?
You want to unblock? Okay.
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah,
I'm
great.
dressed.
Yeah.
Oh, you're dressed this time. Good.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about this, Dan. You're leading the board.
Can you hear us?
Well, we're in the LAX, Los Angeles Airport. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? No?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we're just waiting at LAX. We're in the Qantas First Lounge, waiting to head out to London and then get another flight over to France, spending some time in Paris. And then we're doing a beautiful cruise on the Bordeaux. And spending 2.5 weeks in France. We've never been there. ASEA has given us the luxury of being able to do these types of things. You have me on video now?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look at this place. Let me take you around. This is what everybody's got to experience. Everybody on this call has to experience what we can. This is LA carte dining. You can order through the restaurant. This is all for free. This is all part of traveling so much. You know how much traveling we do around the world building the business. This is all, you guys don't drink, but hey, I do. This is all free. Everything you see here is free. So we want everybody to experience this and the lifestyle that you can. This is all about designing your own life. And this is what we're here to do. And we do that as a byproduct of helping people. So guys, just keep going out there, doing what you're doing, achieve reach for the beach and all these incentives, and you'll be able to design your own life and create this and be able to do whatever you want.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks. I wasn't the call the whole time. I didn't want to take anything away from Terry because I look up to Terry too. As Stevie was saying, he's a bit of an icon. He does have the fastest growing team in the States, and he's doing an incredible job. He's really leading the way over here. He's created an incredible rhythm of events, and he's got all these leaders that are conducting those, whether he's there or not, and his business is really moving fast. So we're working close together, and I think that's something we spoke about, Bart, on the leadership call, aligning ourselves with these great leaders and making sure we're all moving together, forward together.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm really glad you could jump on. I wasn't sure where you'd be. I knew that you were flying today, so I'm glad you could jump on, and feel free to jump in at any point in time here, Dan.
Jumping on the plane in 10 minutes.
Okay. Have an amazing
well done.
Have a fantastic trip. Give our love to Suzanne.
Yeah, we'll do.
Thanks
guys.
See ya. You can see up on the screen the difference between grand prize and the fourth prize. Fourth prize is still, you've got money toward the travel reimbursement, so it's absolutely worth going for all of it.
Yeah.
And if you fall short at fourth prize, you're still doing really well, but aiming at grand prize like Dan is definitely the way to go.
Yeah,
so.
This resort is it's all inclusive, so you don't have to worry about your food or anything. It's even kid friendly. They got a kids club. Let's just run through the qualifications here real quick. So the grand prize is enrolling 28 people. Throughout the contest, it's only averaging 1.6 people a week. So hey, if you put in a couple people a week, you're going to be pretty close. I haven't worked out exactly what the numbers are, but enrolling 2 people a week, if you're getting after it, you can still hit the grand prize. It's averaging, it's creating 11,000 points overall. That would be with the auto ship and the enrollments. We can break that down. And then if we look at the 4th prize, just kind of going down, it's 15 people, which is over the contest period is basically 1 person a week. So if you just average a little bit over that, you're going to be hitting that as well. So let's move on to the next slide. So here's the deal. When you enroll someone, they need to have at least a 100-point order, and also they need to be on auto ship. If someone's hesitant about being on auto ship, oh, I'm not sure if I want the auto ship program, just say, look, let's just, you need to make sure that that's set up. You can always go back in and cancel it, but if it's enrolled with that, then you're good to go. But you definitely want to encourage people and show people the benefits of being on the products long-term, or even if they're evaluating for at least 90 days, for example. The volume requirements, let's see, if you got a preferred customer, 50-point counts. Of course, we get 50. So 1 case of ASEA is 50 points for a preferred customer, but they also count in this. And again, any of your auto ship orders through this period of time also count. And so that's pretty cool. If we just take a look at this, here's kind of a typical, I would encourage people to set people up with not just a case of ASEA, but get them on the other products as well. So really what we're talking about is, the Renew 28 or the other skincare products. Now, the other thing that we're really looking at here on this particular slide is the packs. So I like to think in terms of setting people up for success. Look, a couple $1,000s to start a business, a real business, is nothing. I think that quite often we undersell ourselves or undersell the products when we're not setting people up really with a little bit of product for their family, a little bit of product to share, a little bit of product to sell. And if you've got a little bit of skin in the game, people are going to typically do a little bit more too. So you can see that the loyalty reward points are substantially more, and also the savings is substantially more. What you save about $500 by getting an entrepreneur pack of 1,300 points. Also, as you're setting up the auto ship, really encourage people to not just use the ASEA, but get them on some of the other products too. The ASEA Via product line, the Renew 28, the skincare line. Just encourage people to do that. So as you look at this, let's say if you had 28 enrollments, if you averaged only 200 points per enrollment, so that would really be, that's not just maybe a couple people coming in at business packs and maybe someone coming in at entrepreneur pack. You can easily get up to these points by 5,600 points. Also, throughout the contest period, if you had 42 auto ships, that would be only averaging 1.5 per associate over the 4-month period of time. That creates another 5,460 points. So that's how you add up to the 11,000 points. So when you break it down, when you chunk it down, it's really not that intimidating in terms of these numbers. It's definitely a doable thing. Also, if we look at the 4th place prize, 15 associates, again, averaging 200 enrollment points per order, that would be 3,000 points. And then if you had only 16 auto ships over that contest period of time, that's another 2,080 points. And again, you've won the 4th place prize. So you're definitely in the game. You're there. You can have your room covered. And the more that you do, of course, you're going to get more travel reimbursement. So that's a cool thing. So absolutely go for it, guys. Reach for the beach. If congratulations again to the people who are on the leaderboard. Don't stop, keep going. And if you're not there, you've got plenty of time. It's just about making the decision to go for it.
So as I mentioned earlier, you have an opportunity to do 5 back-to-back fast forwards and enroll 32 people for the grand prize. So be an amazing trip. And we wanted to turn the time over quickly back to Kaleen and Amilton about the Earn Your Way to convention, so that if you have team or if you are on the line from the US or Canada, Kaleen's going to take us through, and maybe Amilton, about this particular incentive. So I hand the time over to you, Kaleen.
Sure, great. Yeah, and I know we've got some new associates from the US on the call, and Bart already said this, but just to clarify, if you got a little confused, the Reach for the Beach is a specific incentive for the Australia market. And what that means is if you're an associate with your business registered in Australia, then that's a prize that you can go for. Europe has similar type things going on. And in the United States, if you all have been tuning in with Karen Riley on the ASEA In Touch calls that happen the first Tuesday of every month in the US. There's a special incentive for both the United States and Canada, which Melissa's showing on the screen now, called Earn Your Way to Convention. So if you have your business set up in the US, you'll actually have a little widget, a little navy blue square at the bottom of your home page of your back office that's already starting to count your points towards this. And so I want to start with saying what I think is fantastic about this is that it's getting us to put our attention on what we call the PGV, or personal group volume. If anybody's confused on what PGV is, there's a great definition of it on in our library. You can pull up the compensation plan, and on the last page of the compensation plan is actually, it's defined for us. And I'm just going to read it. I've got it pulled up. So personal group volume is the sum total of the personal volume of all the associates in your group. So anybody that you've personally sponsored, and then the folks that they've personally sponsored, as opposed to other people that might be under you in the binary that you or your own personally sponsored folks haven't sponsored. So PGV is adding your left and right side that are considered your actual personal group. And then we talk about 3 generations deep, and you all can see on the diagram here with the red, it starts with you. And then when you enroll people, we call that PGV, or personal group volume, level 1. So let's say I enroll Cristina, and then Cristina enrolls someone, and the people that she enrolls are considered PGV level 2. And then, so let's say Cristina enrolls Wendy, and then Wendy enrolls Stevie, just using our folks on the call. And so Stevie would be PG level 3. And so that's what we mean when we talk about 3 generations deep. So this was launched in May. It started May 18th, and it ends on August 23rd. And it's all new enrollment. So for me and Amilton, it's anybody that we newly enroll kicks in our own points. And then if those new enrollments, we help them reach their director bonus and fast forwards and start building their own, enrolling their own either associates or preferred customers, both count for this. Then points start, the volume that generates from those orders, and again, people do need to be on auto ship, just like with the Reach for the Beach, then the points start to add up. And the beauty of it, what we all talked about, is if we did lots of enrollments, particularly before June 23rd, you get 2 auto ships off of that new enrollment that all go towards this prize, right? Now, let's say I enrolled Cristina 2 years ago, and she's still in the business. Any of her new enrollments during this time from May 18th, excuse me, to August 23rd still count. And so this is a great way to also go back to some of your business partners, your associate accounts, and maybe they built the business a little bit, or they haven't really gotten rolling yet. This is a perfect game to really engage with your team and work with them. And Marsha White at Ascent said, Kaleen, put a thermometer on your board, and get people to pledge which prize do they want to win, right? So I'll move over to the right side too on the prizes. And again, for those of us in the US, you can find this flyer by just going to that little navy blue and red square at the bottom left corner of your back office on your main page. And it says learn more, and you click it and this flyer comes up if you've missed any of the calls. So if you look at it, what's happening with each prize is gifting the winning associate 2 tickets to convention, meaning you don't have to pay for your own ticket. And then depending on the level of volume that you and your team collectively 3 generations deep get to earn, then you also get travel reimbursements, which is really cool, as well as credit in the store, which is always fun because they have special things in the store and we can all go shopping when we're at convention. So at 3rd place, what's happening is we're dividing the total personal group volume that like, let's say Amilton and I need to generate if we're going for 3rd place, is 8,000 product volume points. And cumulatively, right? So this is all cumulative up until August 23rd. And 2,000 of that personal group volume needs to come from our personal enrollments, which is where that 1st generation PGV1 becomes really important on pushing us to do new enrollments as well and continue to build our business while working with the team on their new enrollments. And so, just even at 8,000 points, if you think about it, in the US, the enrollment packages are slightly different from what you see in Australia, but when you're working at that entrepreneurial pack level, which is 8 to 10 cases of whatever combination of product, whether it's the ASEA drink, the Renew 28, the ASEA Via Nutrition, the skincare, whatever it is, that's 800 to 1,000 product volume right there. So let's say we enroll 2 people with the entrepreneurial packs, then that already qualifies Amilton and I to have that 2,000 personal volume enrollment on the third prize, just to give, a real case example. And, again, the key is getting everybody on auto ship. And the value of auto ship is not just so we can all win prizes, but it really also helps the person on a consumer level, whether they're a preferred customer or an associate, to save money on their own personal product, because then you're getting a lot of points with each of your auto ship orders that you can redeem for free product. And so when you look at this as a long-term health investment, we always enlighten people a lot upfront on the loyalty points program when they're enrolling an associate account or a preferred customer account, because it does bring the cost of your own personal product down quite a bit over the year and into the years as you build up points. So this just encourages that behavior, right, between new enrollments, getting them on auto ship and understanding their loyalty points that they can earn, and then also helping your team really continue to share the ASEA story as well. And I would say, I can quickly go over. So at second prize, the total personal group volume is 15,000 points, with 2,500 of that coming from, again, you as the person playing the game, your own enrollments. At first prize, it's 25,000 products PGV, with 5,000 of that coming directly from your own enrollments, and the rest obviously can come from your team. And what's really cool is there's no limit to how many people can win first, second, or third prize. Literally no limit. There's no cutoff. So we're not even competing with each other. We're competing just with ourselves and our own business. The only thing that caps off is they're going to take the top 10 first prize winners, and you can see the VIP prize. That's for 10 people at first place. So they'll just scoop off the top there. And in this case, you also get your hotel room covered at the Rio, where we're having the convention, for 4 nights. So that's pretty phenomenal as well.
And they get 4 VIP ticket seats to
right.
in the front.
You get 4 VIP seats so that you're actually getting to, premier seating at all the general sessions as well. And, more shopping bonuses and things like that.
Wow, cool. That's very great.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you guys at convention.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Thank you so much for explaining that to us, Kaleen. And thanks, Amilton, as well, because it's really good for people who have team in the US to have a good understanding of that incentive, that promotion. And it is extremely important to get to convention, as you heard Terry also back up and confirm. So having an incentive based on being able to get there is a beautiful incentive. It's perfect because of the vision that's built, and we'll never miss a convention. So we're certainly excited to be there. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and there's 2 things I just realized I forgot to say, Bart and Melissa. If you already bought your convention ticket, then the company will, once they verify that, they'll reimburse you. So that's more cash coming back your way. And
they need to enroll and
buy their tickets. You need to have bought your tickets, right? Exactly. But you will get reimbursed. So don't let that be a stop of someone going, oh, I've already got my convention tickets, I don't need to earn this. And also, just a very quick thing, and anyone can text me, or you can even call your customer support if this doesn't make sense. But if you're not sure who's 3 generations deep to you, you can go into your back office where we have the menu and the reports section. And the very top report is called Associate Customer Search. And you can actually customize it so that you can run a report that just shows your first 3 generations. And that's an opportunity if you have a big organization and you want to reactivate some people. You can then really focus on who's in your top 3 generations that you want to make sure plays this game with you to earn their way to convention. So that's a great way to get more data too.
Great. That's fantastic.
Thank you, Kaleen. Thank you so much.
Excellent input.
We always have enrollment packs listed in this webinar simply because it's important to realize that we do have them, they're value added, they're the best value, the best way to set people up for success. And in terms of the 2 incentives that were just mentioned, particularly the reach for the beach with volume, then obviously the bigger the pack, the higher the volume with the orders. So and also, of course, the auto ship orders, which isn't related to enrollment packs, but it's just a good idea to make sure that your team understand that the loyalty points do increase too, so more opportunity for free product as well through the loyalty rewards program. And what you do usually in the business, you duplicate through your team. So it's important that they understand the value, and don't assume that people don't have money for certain packs. Put it out there and they decide. When they see the value, they'll understand which pack's right for them.
And one of the other cool things too, in our market here is we've got a la carte orders. So if you still have, for example, some of you enroll someone with 400 points, but they want to do it just as change that up a little bit, or just do it straight ASEA. If what they want to order doesn't fit exactly with the pack, you still get the same sample tubes and loyalty benefits. So,
right.
Yeah,
absolutely. So the loyalty rewards, of course, I mention this each time, but you've got several ways to earn these points. Fast Forward Plus, as we saw earlier, Reach for the Beach, and also auto ship, the enrollment packs, and you get a bonus on your first auto ship order. So that's 20 bonus points on a 100 PV or a case of ASEA, for example, and 30 bonus loyalty points, say for the skin and body care kit for Renew Advanced. So just know those loyalty points grow with time, and it's really important to keep your auto ship consistent so that you can keep accruing these points, so that you don't revert back to the 5% auto ship PV if you cancel the auto ship at any stage. And all the details are in our virtual office as well. In terms of events for Australia, you can go to Redox Events, Australia, New Zealand on the Facebook page, as well as ateamsupport.com. And we've got a place where you can get tickets as well. So just in terms of coming up this week, July, we have Sally Diamond, ASEA Double Diamond, who's being featured in the Expert in the House webinar. So keep in mind, every Wednesday night, you'll have a diamond and above being featured on these webinars. So it's a really great way to get people together and actually have an in-home presentation where you've got this video doing the presentation for you live during that time. So our next webinar is Saturday, August the 3rd. So we're certainly more than halfway through the year. It's exciting in terms of just the few webinars we have left, but we really appreciate the people who can join in and make these webinars fantastic. Now, Kaleen, do you mind, you didn't know I put this slide together, but anyway, I thought you might want to quickly promote your event in Florida.
Sure. So for everyone, we live in Clearwater, Florida, which is on the Gulf Coast in Tampa. And so we have put together a Florida Super Saturday, really that's for the whole state because we're still a bit pioneer. But it's happening the first thing that's going to happen on Friday, August 2nd. This is all USA Eastern Standard Times. We're doing a fundraiser for the Advancing Life Foundation. And then on Saturday is the main event. We're going to do a special leadership brunch just for associates with Dan Doyle and Karen Riley doing some custom leadership training together, which I think is going to be amazing. He's going to fly in from LA and she's flying in from Utah. And that goes from 10 to 12. And then we have the component for you to be able to bring your guests to learn about ASEA. So from 1 to 3, we're going to have a Discover ASEA event just for guests. And then from 3 to 6, we're going to have an interactive workshop for business training for associates, and guests can stay as well. We have David Silverman that's also going to be joining us and plugging in, and Pepper Black may also be coming, just in terms of people helping us on particularly the business training and the workshop side in the afternoon. So it should be great.
Sounds like a great event. Definitely think of who you know in Florida, anybody, any of your connections.
There's 2 separate links for registration. One's free for guests. Is that correct, Kaleen? Just down the bottom.
That's correct. So you've got Live Longer. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner, we keep it separate just because on the associate registration, we put the full program. On the guest, it's just enough to get them interested to learn about ASEA. So you go to Live Longer, Better Stronger 803, which is just the date of August 3rd. .eventbrite.com to register your guests, and there's no charge. And then for associates, it's on the right side, Florida AUG03 associate.eventbrite, and that has the tickets for the brunch, the fundraising tickets for Advancing Life Foundation, and also the tickets for the main event itself. And you can bring your guests to the Advancing Life fundraiser. And we've also worked out hotel rates for people that are coming a little bit further and don't want to just drive for the day. So should be good.
You're an amazing organizer of events, Kaleen.
I learned from you guys.
Oh, you're phenomenal in terms of carrying the whole state, both of you together. So we really appreciate the work that goes in. We know the time that goes into these events, and you both deserve a very big applause for that. So thank you for making this possible for everybody in Florida.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just quickly moving on, in terms of September, then of course we have the convention. Keep in mind that this discount code, $50 US a ticket you're saving, which is significant given our exchange rate right now in Australia. It's only valid till the end of this month. So make sure that you get your tickets and capitalize on that discount.
Hey guys, just in terms of convention, I just want to, realize it's a big investment to fly from, particularly if you're flying over the pond here from Australia or New Zealand or one of the Asian countries. But I promise you, it is absolutely so well worth your time, effort, and energy. It's worth the investment. It is the best investment that you can make into your business. Your business will accelerate. It's putting your business in fast forward because of the vision, the connections, everything that you get from it. So definitely lead by example with your team. Be there, bring some people with you, and we look forward to seeing you there as well.
And conviction really comes from developing belief. And if you are shaky in any of your areas of belief, whether it's about our profession, the products, the company, I'm missing one. Yourself. You need to be at this event because it will be an absolute game changer, similar to what Cristina said when it comes to how she felt coming back from Ascent. This takes that up to an even bigger level.
Oh yeah, you'll be bulletproof.
Right. So we will have an Australian-New Zealand Zoom post-convention webinar following that event. Instead of running around the country, we'll be doing it via Zoom for really important updates in October. So make sure you save that date. Just going back again, it's Saturday, September 21st. And of course, in October, we've got the extension program in Oahu for the Ambassador Diamonds and above. And then, of course, the Maui Diamond Summit at the Grand Wailea, which is an absolutely amazing hotel. So November, we have Alan Noble. Thank goodness we've been able to get him out. Everybody's been asking him for the last few years. He hasn't been here for, would have been
5 years.
5 years,
Yeah.
That's right. So everybody usually knows who Alan is. He's the Amazing Molecules guy, outside of also being an amazingly consistent member of the ASEA Advisory Council. He's a phenomenal speaker, great guy to be around. He's Irish, lives in Texas. Save these dates, start working toward getting your people to these events. The Perth event is going to change in terms of venue, but it's still the same date. So everything is already set up. There's discounted tickets, and I'll go through in a minute where you can get those tickets from. So of course, February, March, keep an eye on the discounted tickets for this event, the Envision event. You can go to ASEAEvents.com for tickets there. The prices are in US dollars. But Tyler Norton comes here for us to benefit for the half-day Envision training on Friday the 28th and Saturday the 29th of February.
Remember what Terry Latham said about events. That's how he built his business. And this is absolutely, these are really super important. You guys want to make sure that you get your tickets, maybe get some extra tickets while they're for some of these events like Ellen Noble event that are discounted, and plan on giving them out as incentives, or you can get them to your team. But important, very important.
So all field run events in Australia are listed at redoxdiamonds.com. The peak performance training, many of you might know, it's following the Envision training on Friday night, Saturday, which is the corporate run event at the Gold Coast Convention Centre. And then we run a field event on this Sunday. So get your tickets for that whilst they're discounted as well. And here's where you can get tickets. It's the redoxdiamonds.com website page. You can directly go through to Facebook where you can get tickets. You can book events directly from the site, and you can listen to previous recordings, Expert in the House recordings, and previous recordings of the Peak Performance Gold Coast events on this website as well. So just to alleviate any confusion, corporate events are the website's ASEAEvents.com for tickets. Australian field-led diamond events, including Alan Noble's tour, is redoxdiamonds.com. And for Facebook, you can go through ASEA AU Diamonds as well. And for convention, there's an ASEAconvention.com link as well. So that's just to make things a little bit clearer there. Of course, in Australia, we've got the redoxshop.com, where you can get some phenomenal booklets and Dr. Gary Samuelson's book, as well as Dr. Robertson Ward's book as well, Healthy Cells, Healthy Life. So that's been set up for our benefit so we can save a lot of money on international shipping. And these booklets are very well and very professionally done. So just to let you know, if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, there's a link. Take a screenshot of it. I've been working with MailChimp to get a better link. It's been a few challenges there, but anyway, take a screenshot, and that's the way to subscribe to the fortnightly team leadership webinars. You can go on and to also subscribe through the newsletter and send the subscription link to other people as well.
Hey, let me just give you a tip too. If you're subscribed to the newsletter and you forward it on to anybody, if they happen to hit unsubscribe, realize that they've just unsubscribed you. So either so you can go to the bottom of that and delete the unsubscribe link if you happen to forward any of our previous newsletters on. There's some great information in there, some excellent blogs, the stories that Melissa's writing up there kind of at the beginning. I hope that you take the time to read through those, and a lot of great information for the upcoming events.
And to those that read them, thank you. Because not a lot of people have time to, but anyway, it's important to get the recognition out there for your team so people know that they are, as I mentioned earlier, they're not being taken for granted, they're being recognised, they're noticed, and their hard work's being applauded as well.
Got to make sure your team is plugged in.
That's right. So we want to thank you all for joining us from all around the world, particularly to Terry Latham, Ambassador Double Diamond, to all the Ascent attendees. Thank you, Kaleen and Amilton, for the extra information on the incentives and your event. You guys absolutely make this webinar possible, so thank you very much for joining. Just need to let you know that David He, Triple Diamond from Melbourne in Australia, he will be following this webinar with a Chinese interpretation of this webinar. So he'll be going through each of the slides and making sure that all the Chinese speaking people that you know, and obviously in his team, are able to get the same information. Some of them don't speak really great English, so this is what's going to happen every month, and it's the same link. You can stay on the line if you want to. We'll just finish the recording, but just to let you know again that David it will start at 10:15.
In 30 minutes from now.
30 minutes, and he'll run through the whole thing. So get your Chinese speaking people on this webinar, and you'll have a heads up now for next month as well. So again, thank you very much everyone for joining us. Look forward to seeing you soon, and I think that's it for now.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see you next month.
Take care. Bye.